Are you going to be a freshman music student studying this fall? Or are you looking at COVID preparations and wondering how you're going to stay productive? Stay tuned and we're going to talk about ways to stay productive even in the midst of all of this mess. Whether you are going to be entering a music program this fall as a freshman or returning, we're all going to be dealing with a bit more freedom than we used to have. Returning members, we probably might not have ensembles or reduced rehearsal time. Some of our classes might be online, so we're not going to have to commute to them. So, with all this time, we're going to talk about how we can structure it so that we can still invest in ourselves. And it's going to be a very personal thing how you structure your time. So, the most helpful thing that I've ever started doing was fully meticulously planning out my days. So I'm a very schedule oriented person. You might not be. So this might not work for you, but I just like to be able to look down and see everything on my schedule that I'm going to be doing for a day. So I finish one thing and I can move right on to the next without having to go through what my goals are and what I have to do next. So when I say like meticulous planning, I mean scheduling out your entire day. From the classes that you're going to have to go to that day down to when you're going to eat and when you're going to practice, when you're going to do homework, all that kind of stuff. When you're building your schedule, the first thing that you want to think about are those required things that you have to be at. So that would be your classes, if you have a job, those shifts that you're going to have to work, any concerts that you have that week, or if there's any other events that you need to be at. Because you're going to have to plan everything else kind of around those. So say that you're in sight singing and dictation on Tuesday and Thursday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. You put that little block in there. And for me, it's always nice to make it a certain color. So for me, my classes are all in red. And that way I know I need to be there, period. The second thing that I recommend putting in there is your meals. You probably will only have to schedule in lunch because that's the one that college students tend to forget about. But I've run into several days where I will show up to school and, you get working on something, you get a really good practice session going, you forget to go get your meals. And it might feel good in the moment to get those things done, but it's really important to make sure to keep fueling yourself because you want to make sure that you can stay focused, that you're not getting too tired because the college workload is a lot. So you want to make sure that you are ready for that. So after meals, you're going to want to structure your practice time. So whether that's 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours, and however you break that up, get it in your schedule. At 2 p.m., I have a break between classes from 1:30 to 4. So at 2 p.m., I'm going to practice for an hour. And then I'm going to take a little bit of time off, and then I might get another little half hour in there. Whatever it is, just make sure that it's on your schedule. Whether those are half hour or hour long blocks, my biggest piece of advice with practice is to get your first session in before your first class for the day. And now I know you might be looking at your schedule saying, look, I've got a 7:30 class, there's no way. But if you can commit to getting that in beforehand, you will be so much happier that you did it then so that you can be done for the day sooner. And you will have more motivation throughout the day to keep going back to practice. The next thing to put in is time specifically dedicated to homework and studying. There's quite a bit of paper homework or like paper writing that you're going to have to do. So it's good to set aside time specifically for this. All your classes are going to give you a syllabus that some of them will be more detailed than others, but with a lot of them you can tell exactly what you're going to have to do on any given week. So you can work a little bit ahead, get some readings done, or just plan for those weeks that you're going to have to get more done, like midterms week or the weeks leading up to midterms or the weeks leading up to finals, so that you're not overwhelmed when those times come around. The last thing that I think is really important to set time aside for is rest and relaxation. Now, you might think that just resting will come naturally, but I found in my first 2-3 years, I was really trying to get as much as I could done, and the rest just didn't happen. And that might sound good because, yeah, you're getting a whole lot done, but it's not really sustainable to be working and constantly on 24/7. So I would find that kind of by the end of 5 or 6 weeks of working really, really hard, that I would almost fall off the train completely because I hadn't given myself any rest. I was always working, and then my practice time would start going down, and I wouldn't want to be doing the things that I was doing. And I would just want to be resting all the time or watching a TV show or playing a video game, whatever that might be. So I find that the best way to put rest into your schedule is setting a cutoff time. For me, after 8 p.m., I really don't want to be working on anything. It gives me a couple of hours to wind down, put on a TV show, or read something that is not music related, to just kind of get my mind off things and so that I can rest and be prepared for the next day. So there are going to come days where I have to work past that 8 p.m. deadline, but for the vast majority of days, I will be done working at 8 p.m. And I think it's really important to set that kind of thing for yourself so that you can really fully rest, kind of unwind from your day, and then get right back at it the next day. So I'm going to put up a sample schedule over here. So as you can see, I've got a practice time before my class. You can see all the classes that I have in there, and I have them in there in red, just so I know I have to be there. And I've also got my meals. I've got my practice time in there, and I have homework, study time, and rest. It doesn't matter what your schedule looks like, so long as it works for you, so that you're still being productive, getting things done, and that you're not going to burn out. And I think those are the two most important things with making this schedule. So writing all these things down, what you're going to do and when you're going to do them, can really keep you accountable to the things that you want to get done. With all the freedom that we're going to have this fall, I think it's important to kind of set up your expectations for yourself. So whatever your schedule looks like this fall, make sure that it's productive and sustainable. So if you like this video, give me a like or a thumbs up. You can go and check me out on Instagram, nolan.thetrombone, or on Facebook, just at Nolan Miller. Let me know down in the comments if you think that this is something that would work for you, or what ways you stay productive while you're in the midst of a crazy semester.